All in favor of removing Sire from the board. The ham was honey-glazed and perfect, which should have been my first warning. Mom only made her perfect ham when she was about to do something unforgivable. All in favor of removing Sire from the board. Dad raised his hand with the casual authority of someone who'd never written a line of code in his life but owned 51% of a tech company. 5 hands went up around the Easter dinner table. Mom, Dad, my older brother James, my younger sister Natalie, and my cousin Trevor, who'd been made CFO last year despite thinking Python was just a snake. Unanimous. Dad smiled, carving another slice of ham like he hadn't just carved me out of the company I'd built from scratch. I set down my fork and started counting. 10, 9, 8. What are you doing? James laughed, the same laugh he'd used when I'd first suggested we pivot from retail to tech. Throwing a tantrum. 7, 6, 5. Natalie rolled her eyes. So dramatic. This is why you're not leadership material, Sarah. Too emotional. 4, 3, 2. Mom sighed. Honestly, Sarah, accept it gracefully. You'll still have your salary. 1, 0. The lights flickered. Then, from the study where Dad kept his laptop open to monitor the office systems, came a sound like digital death, the whine of servers shutting down. Trevor's phone buzzed first. Then James's. Then a cascade of notifications that sounded like digital rain. What the? Trevor stared at his screen. The entire system's down. Everything's black. I took a bite of ham. It really was perfect. You voted me out. The algorithm just voted you down. My name is Sarah Lynn, and I'm 27 years old. 5 years ago, I convinced my family to let me modernize our struggling medical supply company with a proprietary inventory management system I'd developed in my garage. They gave me 6 months and a closet-sized office. I gave them a 300% increase in efficiency and $40 million in additional revenue. What did you do? Dad's face went from smug to purple faster than our loading screens used to before I optimized them. Nothing, I said, buttering a roll with deliberate calm. I've been here eating Easter dinner. The system, however, has very specific authentication requirements. My biometric signature needs to validate every 72 hours or it assumes a security breach and locks everything down. That's illegal. James slammed his hand on the table, making the good china jump. That's protection, I corrected. It's in the documentation I filed 3 years ago. Page 247, subsection 18b. You all signed off on it. Well, Trevor was probably playing Candy Crush during that meeting, but his signature's still on there. Mom's phone rang. She answered with shaking hands. Hello. Yes, this is. What do you mean the warehouse is locked? Everything's automated. It should. Frozen. The entire inventory system. Funny thing about building something from scratch, I said, helping myself to more mashed potatoes. You know every line of code, every backdoor, every kill switch. You know it like you know your own heartbeat because, in a way, it is your heartbeat. Fix it, Dad commanded, using his CEO voice, the one that worked on everyone except the daughter who'd heard him practice it in the bathroom mirror. No, Sarah, you're still an employee. Actually, I'm not. You just voted me out, remember? Unanimous decision. I'm just a guest at Easter dinner now, enjoying this lovely ham. Trevor was frantically typing on his phone. I can't access anything. Even my email's locked. That's because the email server runs through my system. I explained patiently, like I was talking to the child he mentally was. Everything does. The inventory management, the supply chain logistics, the customer database, the financial systems, all of it runs on the architecture I built. By myself, while you all were deciding whether to update the company logo. We'll sue you, Natalie said, though her voice wavered. She'd just gotten promoted to head of marketing last month, a position that would be meaningless if there was no company to market. With what lawyers? I asked. The ones whose contracts are in the system you can't access? The ones you pay through the automated billing system that's currently frozen? Good luck with that. Dad stood up, his chair scraping against the hardwood floor. You're destroying the family business out of spite. I'm not destroying anything, I said. I'm just not saving it. There's a difference. You wanted me out. I'm out. Completely. The system will stay locked, the algorithm will keep everything frozen, and in about, I checked my watch, 6 hours, you'll miss the automated orders for your 3 biggest clients. That's about $12 million in revenue, gone. You planned this, Mom accused. I planned for this, I corrected. There's a difference. I hoped you'd value what I brought to the table. I prepared for the possibility that you wouldn't. Just like I prepared for James downloading company data to his personal drive to sell to competitors. James went white. That's documented and backed up to my personal server? Yes. Or like Natalie's Instagram posts from company events she claimed were client meetings. Those Bali trips weren't quite the networking opportunities you reported, were they? Natalie's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Or Trevor's creative accounting, I continued, looking at my cousin who'd suddenly become very interested in his napkin. Did you really think I wouldn't notice you'd been skimming from the supplies budget? 3% here, 2% there. It adds up. About 80,000, by my count. The room erupted in accusations and denials, everyone turning on each other like sharks smelling blood. Enough! Dad roared. Sire, what do you want? What I wanted was respect, I said, standing and smoothing my Easter dress. The one Mom had said was too plain when I'd arrived. What I wanted was to be valued for more than my ability to fix your mistakes and build your dreams while you took the credit. What I wanted was a family that saw me as more than the weird kid who preferred computers to country clubs. So this is revenge, Mom said flatly. This is resignation, I replied. Effective immediately. My lawyer will be in touch about my intellectual property rights. Oh, and before you try to hire someone to crack my system, it'll take them approximately 18 months to understand code I've been developing for 5 years. By then, your clients will have moved on, your contracts will be void, and this company will be a case study in how not to treat your technical founder. Technical founder. Dad scoffed. You our daughter. Who single-handedly transformed your failing medical supply company into a tech-forward industry leader? While James was golfing with clients who were already leaving, while Natalie was posting selfies, while Trevor was learning what EBITDA meant on YouTube, I was building the infrastructure that increased our valuation by 900%. My phone buzzed. A notification from my new business partner, waiting in her Tesla outside. Dr. Patricia Chen, who'd been trying to poach me for 2 years. You have a choice, I said, gathering my purse. You can try to run the company without the system. Good luck with the paper files from 2018. You can try to sue me. I have every email where you dismissed my concerns documented. Or you can negotiate. My lawyer's number is in the system you can't access, so I'll be gracious and leave his card. I placed the business card on the table, next to the ham. This is extortion, James said. This is economics, I replied. Supply and demand. You demanded my removal. I'm supplying it. Completely. Sire, please, Mom's voice cracked. This is family. Family. I laughed, but it wasn't bitter, just tired. Family doesn't vote you out over Easter dinner. Family doesn't take credit for your work in every investor meeting. Family doesn't pay the janitor more than the person who built their entire technical infrastructure, because Sire doesn't have a family to support. That last one made them all look away. They knew. They'd always known. How long until you'll release the system? Dad asked, his CEO voice replaced with something smaller. That depends on the terms of my exit package, I said, heading for the door. My real lawyer, not the company one who told you this vote was a good idea, will be in touch Monday. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Easter. The ham really is perfect, Mom. Too bad everything else at this table is rotten. I walked out to the sound of phones buzzing, voices rising, and the beautiful chaos of consequences arriving right on schedule. Patricia's Tesla hummed to life as I approached. How'd it go? She asked. Exactly as programmed, I said, sliding into the passenger seat. They had their vote. Now they get to live with it. As we drove away, I pulled up my laptop. The real algorithm, the one I'd been developing privately for Patricia's new venture, glowed on the screen. 3 years of nights and weekends coded into something they'd never have access to. You know they'll try to destroy your reputation, Patricia said. Let them try. Every major client knows who really built that system. They've been calling me directly for 2 years because they know James can barely turn on his computer without help. My phone exploded with messages. I turned it off. No regrets. Patricia asked. I thought about it. 5 years of being overlooked, underpaid, and undervalued. 5 years of building something extraordinary while being told I was ordinary. 5 years of being the only one at that table who actually understood what made the company valuable. Just one, I said. I should have left sooner. Patricia laughed. Well, you're here now. Ready to build something they can't vote you out of. Ready to build something they could never even imagine, I corrected. Behind us, the family home grew smaller in the distance. Inside, they were probably still arguing, still trying to figure out how to unlock a system that was never really theirs to begin with. They'd voted me out of their company, but they'd never understood I was the company. The algorithm had done exactly what it was programmed to do: protect the asset. They just never realized the asset wasn't the code.